Alright, so if you guys are here from my last video, you kinda already know what this is. I'm kinda trying to do like a breakdown video rather than trying to like squeeze it in with my old videos because it just wasn't giving me enough time to really say what I needed to say. So doing this to kinda highlight any important things that happened in a chapter or any cool moments that might have stuck out to me. But anyway, that's why I have this here today. And this will probably be the only time I intro it, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase and say that this was probably one of my favorite chapters of Boruto Two Blue Vortex as a whole. It was absolutely phenomenal. I think the fights were really good. I do think they need to do some better work with the fights, but like draw them out a little longer, have some more dynamic clashing animations, and really emphasize these unique powers that each character has. Most of it is resolved in like one or two blows. But it was good for a Boruto Two Blue Vortex fight for the most part, or just a Boruto fight for the most part. But the real meat and potatoes that I want to get into is Boruto is now officially the GOAT. He is clearly like the strongest ninja that we've ever seen. And yeah, we have Himawari, who's just awakening her potential for the first time, and I'm going to talk about her in a minute. But yeah, Boruto is basically more powerful than Naruto now, and I think it's not really disputable. Naruto is one of the most powerful ninjas we've ever seen. Because the sheer fact that he could speed blitz Kawaki, who is quite powerful, and don't let Kawaki's performances in the last few chapters undermine how powerful he is. He is very reckless and not very talented because he's so powerful that he hasn't really had to train or put in much effort to defeat any opponent prior to Boruto's appearance. But don't for one moment think that he's actually weak, because he is quite powerful. That's why Shikamaru has no problem just sending him out on missions by himself. But yeah, he's still not the most powerful person in the village, but he's still very, very strong. But as for Boruto, and seeing him basically just like in one foul swoop fight both of the tail beasts, and yeah, he didn't really engage like a fight, but seeing as he was able to swoop up, pick up Himawari, and also take Himawari to safety and fight Hidari all at the same time is absolutely miraculous. And let's not forget how easily he defeated Code at the beginning of the series, who, where the hell has he gone, by the way? But it's just safe to say that Boruto is easily the strongest. Now, Kawaki could still rival Jura to some sense, because Kawaki, when he first fought Jura, he didn't actually go into his armor marking form, which maybe he might stand a bit more of a chance in that form rather than fighting him in his base form, because every time you've seen the biggest power feats from Kawaki, he's usually in his claw mark form. Actually, upon further inspection while I was editing this, I'm wrong, he does go into his karma form, but it's for like a few seconds or a few small panels. So maybe he is trash. But Boruto is actively trying not to go into his karma form, and he is still really powerful. And we've only got to see the surface of his power. He backed out of the fight against all the divine tree creatures because he just knew he couldn't take all of them at once. But who's to say he can't take them in 1v1s? And I know saying Boruto is the strongest is not really like the most crazy statement, but last time I made a video about Naruto versus Boruto, and I said that Boruto was stronger, at least at this moment, people just like lost their crap in the comments, because a lot of the comments were basically that Boruto kind of takes a lot of like other people's jutsus and he's like the Gohan of the series, which was a crazy statement because like Goku is the one that doesn't have any original attacks. Every single attack Goku has is something he's learned from someone else. But to say Boruto is just a Naruto clone, I think kind of undermines it. I think in the OG series he was more of a Naruto clone, but I think that he's gotten into his own a lot more in Two Blue Vortex, and I really appreciate the character development that they've given him in this new series rather than him just kind of being like a less annoying or more annoying sometimes Naruto. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's capable of, seeing as he's gotten a lot of the jutsus from both Naruto as well as Sasuke. I'm kind of curious as to how he can fuse those together and what he's kind of created, because I think a lot of people do forget that he used Uzuhiko at the beginning of the series, which basically was a one-hit KO, and anything it hit would eventually die, which is crazy. And also wonder what he's potentially learned from Kashin Koji, who was kind of like a teacher of Naruto, and if he's actually managed to learn various other abilities, like has he learned Sage Mode, has he learned other forms of Rasengan, has he learned other styles, because Kashin Koji is also a person that kind of gets shoved under the rug on how powerful he was, because as we saw, Naruto and Sasuke got easily washed by Jigen, but Kashin Koji took Jigen out like it was nothing. And his fight against Jigen might not have been potentially a show of how powerful he was, but his tactical abilities and knowing his opponent very well before he strikes. And I think if he had imparted some of that knowledge onto Boruto, he could potentially be even stronger than we can anticipate. And that's probably why Boruto has seemingly lapsed everyone else when it comes to training, because he is trained with 2 years with Sasuke, and it seems like he's also trained another like year or maybe 2 years, I can't remember the exact number, with Kashin Koji as well. And in that time, he's probably refined all his abilities and enhanced them and figured out how to combine them with new abilities. So the holding the Naruto clone title might not last forever because he's potentially learned way more in the time skip than we can even anticipate. So with that being said, Boruto is potentially one of the strongest in the series, at least in the top 3. I think the only people might be stronger than him is Ada and maybe Damon as well. Maybe top 4, because Jura might also be a little bit stronger than him, but we're not certain yet of Jura's full capabilities. Even though he went all out on Himawari, I'm not certain that was his full all out. But now that we're on the topic of Himawari, let's talk about it, because I am not super crazy about her Nine-Tailed Fox design. I do think it's a little cool that she has the Kushina thing, but I would have loved to seen her get a Nine-Tailed Fox cloak and have something different that Naruto didn't have. But with the hair, it just seems a little underwhelming for me. Maybe it might look a little better in the anime, but I think they could have done a lot more with it. But Himawari is also being slept on because we have never seen a Jinchuriki fuse with a dojutsu of any sort. Only time we've seen it is been in Ten Tails. So I would love to see what potentially her Byakugan mixed with her tail beast form could be, but it seems like they just don't ever use it, or maybe she's not really fully capable of controlling when she activates it, because they might have mentioned something about that in the anime, but the anime canon is a little bit janky because we've seen various different dojutsus like the Jogun and other things, but they have not really made an appearance in the official Boruto manga. Like, even her Byakugan has never shown up in the official manga, and there's never been any mention of her Byakugan in the manga. So I kind of wonder if Kishimoto forgot about it, if he just had no intentions of really going down that avenue, or if we're going to see her Byakugan show up eventually when she fully understands her Nine-Tail powers, and maybe she can learn to mix those two abilities together. And quick side note, because I know people are going to quote the one-shot about her Byakugan saying that technically it did appear in a manga. That is a one-shot. That is actually not a part of Boruto. That is still technically a part of Naruto. But yes, that is the only time her Byakugan has ever shown up outside from the anime. But going back to her, I do think that she could potentially fuse her abilities together, and seeing that she's already one of the strongest Jinchurikis that Kurama has ever seen, and we're not really sure if Kurama is even at full power himself. When she does reach that full power, whenever that is, she could potentially be more powerful than Boruto in my opinion, because she hasn't actually been trained to fight or use any ninjutsu. She is like a beginner, as beginners could be. And maybe she could even learn her father's shadow clone jutsu, which, could you imagine like 100 shadow clones or 1,000 shadow clones with the Byakugan using the freaking 64 palms? That would be absolutely insane. And I hope that they eventually draw something like that, because I don't know if this new artist for Boruto is willing to draw more than like 3 shadow clones on any single page. Which I understand, drawing the same character like 1 trillion times is kind of obnoxious, and you really need editors for that. But I really hope her new healing capabilities come into play, and it's not one of those just, we needed it for the moment, we're never going to use this ability again. And I hope to see more of that, even though I do think it's a little busted, and I think it would have been cooler if they just left Inoji for dead, but he hasn't really done much in his story for us to really mourn his death, and hopefully we get to see more of him, where he can kind of redeem himself and actually be more than just kid of one of our other favorite characters. I think that's all I got to say about this chapter, or at least about this stuff that happened in this chapter. Let me know if you guys like this new format. If you do, I might continue making it. If you don't, let me know. I might go back to the old format. But I'm gonna need y'all to comment below, or else I'm just gonna continue doing it this way. So hopefully y'all like it. And hopefully YouTube actually shows it to you guys. But one thing you can absolutely do is make sure to like and subscribe to this video, because that will guarantee at least people will see it, or at least I know people are seeing it. But anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Let me know how you guys feel about Boruto being potentially the strongest in the series, and where Himawari can end up going in the comments below. And stay safe, my ninjas, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.